Hey y'all, it's your girl Nadia.
And it's me, Coach T.
And we are two average people.
Yes, we are.
Thanks as always, thanks for tuning in with us. Thanks for our followers, y'all. We have surpassed 3,000 and we're growing
officially
and growing and growing.
This is amazing.
This is amazing. Tell all your friends, your family, everybody you know.
Everybody you know.
About us.
Who's trying to make sure they get and stay married
That's
to people
right.
that they say they love.
And baby, woo, we coming up on 13 years.
Yeah, that's true.
13 years, y'all.
13 years married.
You ain't sick of me yet?
150 together. Let's
you
go.
Sick of,
Let's go.
You ain't sick of me yet?
Nah.
Nah?
Not at all.
You sure?
All
right, y'all. I got witnesses.
Yeah.
All 3,000 plus of y'all. No, but y'all know I gotta spice it up a little bit. You know, I was out with some girlfriends the other day, and we were talking about a lot of things, but one of the things that came up was appreciation. And, you know, I was saying how, I got my notes, y'all, because, you know, I forget stuff. So I was saying how, you know, it's very important to make sure that you appreciate your partner. Thank, appreciate, gratitude, they can kind of fall under the same umbrella. And one of the women said she doesn't necessarily feel she needs to show her partner appreciation because, and I could have misunderstood what she says, but she said that that's what he's supposed to do. Like all of the things that he does that she appreciates or would appreciate, that's what he's supposed to do. And that she picked a partner that she knew could carry out those responsibilities in a way that would be favorable to her, I guess, what she would require. And I'm like, wait, no, hold on. You still need to show your spouse appreciation because, you know, I feel like you can easily take them for granted.
Yeah. There's an arrogance in that type of thinking that is hard to ignore.
Yes.
Sorry.
Again, this is just how I understood what she was saying. But you're right. I feel like there is an arrogance in that. And I feel like that's how you feel taken for granted.
Yeah. On either end.
On either end
of the spectrum. Yeah.
I think we fall into our everyday routine and we forget to appreciate our partners. For a long time, I didn't know how to appreciate him. I even remember one day we were having probably a pretty heated discussion. I still remember this like it was yesterday. It was in our kitchen of our old house. And he was like, do you know how I feel appreciated? And I'm like, well, I cook for you. I mean, you know. And he looked at me, he was like, sex. Do you remember this?
I do.
He was like, sex. So clearly the issue was, and I'm like, I guess I knew that, but yeah, I guess so. So the issue, you know, obviously there's other ways to appreciate your spouse.
Definitely.
But at this point, clearly we weren't having enough sex. Also, he started to feel underappreciated because one of the way he identifies with feeling whole and love is through sex. And so I was like, okay, that was a turning point for me because I knew sex was important.
That's fair.
But I didn't know how important, and I also did not attribute it to appreciation.
That's fair.
And so we want to talk more about this topic of appreciation because I personally think it's really important to, appreciate your partner, but not just through sex, but there's other ways. Like the way I would feel appreciated wouldn't necessarily be through sex. It would be other ways. And so it's the little things of thanking him or her, or complimenting them. We're going to talk about hold on. I got 5 ways.
5 ways.
So we're going to talk about 5 ways that you can appreciate your spouse.
All right.
Baby, you have anything to add?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I really feel like appreciation is something that is and should be a relationship non-negotiable on both sides. Meaning, if you are a person inside of a relationship, you should be able to feel appreciated. That's not necessarily something that needs to be negotiated as far as you will or you won't. The real question is how much and when and in what capacity can that happen? If somebody's going through an episode, some sort of mental breakdown, it's not the time for them to have to show you appreciation. That's not the time. But that's also obvious. So that's clearly not what we're talking about when we say that that's a non-negotiable. Yeah. It should be something that is ever present in a relationship as long as it's healthy and able to be given. Yeah. However, it is on you, the same you in your relationship, you who I'm talking to, you, don't look behind you, the same you, it's also on you to know how to genuinely show appreciation, not just doing what it is you want to do and saying, there, you got it, but to give what they need, they require, what they understand as appreciation so that it can actually be understood.
You know, babe, it's funny that you talked to, there's two things that you mentioned that made me think. First of all, you said it's non-negotiable, which I agree. But I think appreciation is one of those things that you don't just always know when you first get married. I think it's something you have to kind of learn over time. I might be jumping ahead of myself with my notes, but I think it's something you have to learn over time. One, because I had to learn how to appreciate you. So the second part of your point was, yes, you are responsible for it. But if I don't know, then how am I gonna I didn't know back then.
Fair. That's fair.
And thankfully I had a husband who sat me down and was like, look, and yeah, he was maybe annoyed or whatever, but he at least took the time to sit me down and say, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what I need you to understand about me. The other piece to that, though, is I have to then listen.
I was going to say it if you didn't.
To what we said. Now, that doesn't
mean... She was responsive.
That doesn't mean that the only thing important now is the fact that he gets sex, so he feels appreciated, right? Mm-hmm. There's always a balance.
It's always a balance.
Sometimes I'm sick or I can't do it. Other times it's like, hey, let's send the child away, and you know, it's bad. Yeah. But there's always two parts. You can't expect your spouse to just know how to appreciate you.
Fair.
But once you have to take some responsibility to tell them, show them, communicate with them. But the other person always also has to take the responsibility to hear it.
To genuinely
listen, not just, really, oh yeah, whatever, you're just ungrateful. Because I could have said, you're just ungrateful. All that I do for you, I take care of our kid, I cook, I clean, whatever. And that's all you, so I don't appreciate you now because you didn't get sex 3 times this week. Like, I could have gone there with it. Or I could listen to what he's saying. He's never asked me to cook. He's never asked me to clean. He's not, I mean, obviously we both have to take care of our kid.
We both do.
But there's a lot of things that I was doing thinking he was feeling appreciated and realized that he wasn't. All right, y'all, let's jump into these 5 things because, you know, I'll talk forever about something. So, yeah, we're not going to keep y'all forever. So the first one I have is notice the little things. Pay attention to the things that you appreciate that they may do, like washing the dishes or buying your favorite bottle of wine or dessert. But also take a mental note of what interests your partner, right? So he may be like, babe, I want this. Nope. You know, or one example that I wrote down was, for instance, like say your partner is passionate about writing a book. At a later time, you can go for a walk and say, hey, I want to hear more about that book that you're writing. Or sit down over a glass of wine and say, hey, babe, let me help you troubleshoot some ideas about that book you're writing. That's ways that you show your partner not only one, that they're listening to you, that you're listening to them and you support their passions, but also that you appreciate what they're bringing to the table.
That's real. That's real.
All right?
That's real.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, talk to your partner's love language. Dr. Gary Chapman, you know, if anybody knows us and has talked to us about relationships, we always talk about the love language.
It's a big deal.
Acts of service, quality time, gifts, words of affirmation, physical touch. right? Definitely speak to that. It's very, very important when it comes to the appreciation part, and obviously feeling love, which can go hand in hand. Think outside the box. So if your partner's love language is words of affirmation, you can compliment them, but you can also write a letter, send a nice Facebook post, or a text message. If it's acts of service, you can make them a nice dinner, take their car for a car wash or fill it up, or do a project on their to-do list. And guess what, y'all? I just gave y'all both of our love languages: acts of service and words of affirmation.
It's true.
So yeah, it was easy to come up with examples for that because, you know, these are the things that we have to pay attention to. And It's funny because mine is acts of service, his is words of affirmations. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, each of ours is on the bottom of our list.
Yeah. Yeah,
or close to the bottom. Like words of affirmations is the last on my list.
Yeah, acts of service for me is right above gifts, which gifts is like the bottom, the basement. You never bought me anything. Okay.
He didn't think to buy it. He did this.
Don't worry about it. I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah. So that's another way. Please jump in, babe, if you have anything to add to whatever I'm saying. Because I'm going to go through these really quickly. The third one is give your undivided attention. We live in a technology-driven world. So we always have our phones in our hand doing something. Start over.
Sure.
We live in a technology... We get this.
This is a blooper reel. This is what this is. This is blooper.
We live in a technology...
Want me to read it?
We live in a technology-driven world. So we always have our phone in our hand doing something. So if your spouse is trying to have a conversation with you, put the phone down and listen.
Yeah.
The call or text can wait. And then if it can't, that needs to be communicated. It's so, so important. Over the course of our relationship, I've practiced if we're in public, but as you can see on the podcast too, if you look back, go check out all our podcasts, y'all. But if you look back, when he's talking, I look at him. And not only am I looking, I'm truly listening to what he's saying. And so I think a lot of the time when we're trying to communicate with each other or connect with each other, we have the phone in our hand, and sometimes it could be anything. I mean, it may not be the phone, it could be a book, it could be whatever, but sometimes we just need to put it all away and just truly, truly listen to our partner.
Absolutely.
Undivided attention. One
of the things that I always say, especially when dealing with our daughter, London, is if we don't have her eyes, we don't have her attention.
That's right.
It works both ways. If you're looking and having this conversation and you're wagging a finger and she's off this, she's not even here.
She's not.
You gotta get her attention back. Come here.
Yeah.
Stay here. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
It's real.
So undivided attention is so, so important for appreciation. Number 4, compliment your partner in public and in private. Even if their love language isn't words of affirmation, which mine isn't, feeling seen for who you are and what you've done feels great. I don't care who you are. It does feel really, really good. I wrote down this example. I remember recently for my 40th birthday, y'all. Shout out to 40. Yeah, y'all, I'm 40. I know.
I don't look it at all.
But
happy 21st birthday.
Hey, thank you, baby. I remember recently my husband took me and 6 of our friends out to dinner. And I definitely thanked him in private. But also, I made sure that when we were around our friends, I made sure to thank him in public. You know, he treated us all to dinner. So I made sure to thank him, tell them to enjoy, you know, and those kinds of things. And it wasn't a boast like, hey, look, my husband has all this money. That wasn't the case. It was more, really, baby, I appreciate you taking me. That's one of the things I wanted to do. And I really appreciated you taking care of us and treating us to dinner. And so that was, how do you feel? Does that feel like appreciation? How does that
very much so
translate for you?
It very much so felt like appreciation. And honestly, I didn't do it for a thank you. So getting it was nice because I didn't expect it.
Right.
It wasn't about me, and I was okay with it not being about me. But you still stopping and taking a minute, both publicly and privately, to say thank you. Thank you.
Y'all know we gotta have a little fun. Also, it's important to remember that when you're apart, that you don't say things to devalue your spouse.
That's a big one.
This is a big one. It's easy for us when we go around our friends, our family members, our parents, even sibs, that we say things that we're annoyed with our spouse. You know what he didn't do or whatever. And you know, sometimes you do need to vent. Sometimes you do. But it's important when we talk to our friends about our spouse that we don't always talk about them negatively, but then when we're around them, it's a whole different story. We talk about each other all the time when we're not around each other. At least we tell each other we do, but we do. I truly believe that we do.
Yeah, for sure.
That so much so that when people meet Tobari, they're like, Tobari, it's so nice to meet you.
And I'm like, I don't know you.
And he's like, I don't know who you are. He's like, oh. Okay, and they feel like they know him because between our Facebook or they know me between our Facebook pages and, you know, the things that we've said.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, they can connect.
They can connect.
All right, so number 5. This is something that you can take away kind of with you throughout the journey of your relationship, and that is make gratitude a habit.
Big deal.
Big deal. Okay, so this is, I think, where the discussion comes in of I don't have to thank you, or I don't have to, like, okay, if he washes the dishes, some may say, why do I need to thank him for washing the dishes? This is your house too. Why do I need to thank you? And you're not wrong, per se. You're not wrong. The issue, though, with that is, especially for me, my love language is acts of service. And so when he does anything that is in that family, I, one, notice it more, and I feel love and appreciation. So I make sure to make that gratitude a habit and thank him. So I would love to have a discussion about this because I really can see both sides of, I obviously think you always need to show appreciation, but I could see both sides of someone saying, well, why do I need to thank my husband for taking out the trash or washing the dishes? Or why do I need to thank her for cooking dinner? Or especially like a stay-at-home mom or wife. Why do I need to thank her for cooking dinner?
And this is my problem.
I'm working, so that's what she's supposed to do.
And this is where my issue with that last one comes in. And to me, why that last one is so important. For me, it's a thin line between why do I need to thank her for cooking dinner and why do I need to thank her for having my baby? I can't have my own baby. She's my wife. She's supposed to have my baby. Why I gotta say thank you for that? What? Yeah. If you would say thank you for one, why not say thank you for the other one? Because at the end of the day, having someone to fulfill those needs for you is important. So showing gratitude for that is important. There are a lot of sects on sects. S-E-C-T-S.
Yeah, because that's not what it sounded like you said.
I know. That's why I stopped to spell it.
I was like,
there are a lot of spaces on the web where men believe you should just do this because I'm a high value man and that's what I believe. And women believe, why do I have to show you gratitude and appreciation for the things that are basic? Because that person is doing it for you. It's still a choice. It's that simple. Like,
right, and that's the it's a choice.
It's a choice.
I don't have to do anything I don't want to do.
I'm doing this because I choose to, because I choose you. So if I choose you and I'm choosing to do this, what's the harm in saying thank you?
Yeah, I really appreciate
this.
Absolutely.
It takes nothing. It's absolutely free. So not doing it and being hard-headed about it on either side of the coin feels targeted.
Or it could mean that you feel like you're owed this. If there's some sense of entitlement. And part of you is like, well, yeah,
show me your entitlement.
I'm owed this because I work hard. Well, yeah, I'm owed this because I work hard. And I take care of myself. And I do all of these things.
Look, that's not the fight you want to fight in a marriage. It's just not.
It's, to me,
it's not.
It is not any part of the recipe for a long lasting, committed, loving marriage.
It's not.
It's just not.
It's not.
And just take it from us. Again, it's just not gonna. It's a very single-minded thought process, and it doesn't lead you down a good path. Trust me and believe.
Facts on facts on facts.
This is a choice every day.
Every single day.
He doesn't have to do anything that he doesn't want to do. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. We are choosing to live harmoniously. We are choosing to live in love and respect and appreciation.
That's real.
And that is what you really, really have to do. So make gratitude a habit. I'll read this last thing and we'll let you guys go. Gratitude is about focusing on what's good in our lives and being thankful for the things we have. This is good in my life, y'all. My daughter is good in my life. My home. Why not thank? I mean, I can't thank my home physically, but I thank God for our home.
Amen.
I can thank my daughter when she does a good job in school.
Mm-hmm.
I can thank him when he washes the dishes. And because gratitude trains your brain to see the good in your partner, not only will your love for each other grow, that's what we just said, but you'll find yourself feeling more optimistic and positive about life in general.
Absolutely. Because you train your brain to see the good before the bad.
Correct. So come in the house, there may be stuff all over the living room floor. But the dishes are washed. After a while, and I'm telling you this from almost being married 13 years, after a while, you notice the dishes washed over the living room being messy. Doesn't mean the living room being messy isn't annoying, but you train your brain to focus on the things that you did appreciate, because I don't have any information about why the living room's messy yet.
That's fair.
So to get upset about that first before noticing that, our daughter's sitting on the couch reading, the dishes are washed, dinner is on the table. This is what making gratitude a habit can do for you.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, y'all.
It's a big deal.
Catch us on our next one, y'all. We have a lot of content coming. Don't forget about your self-care.
Yes.
It's still the first quarter, so we're focusing on self-care. We're doing other things in between, but we have the physical self-care coming up. So look out for that. I'm so excited. We have a lot of great things for you when it comes to that.
We also have our book that is on the way.
On the way.
We have a tentative release date.
Wait.
No.
You gotta watch the next episode.
Okay, I see you teasing. I see you teasing. Okay. Well, since that's the case, we just gotta tell them to remember that we're better
together.